So, are you ready to take control of your business destiny?
In the next few minutes, we're going to unlock the secrets of starting an LLC in Wyoming. It's a state totally renowned for being incredibly business-friendly, offering some of the most advantageous legal protections and tax benefits out there. By the end of this explainer, you're going to have a clear, actionable plan to get your LLC up and running in no time.
All right, here's our step-by-step roadmap for today. We'll cover the Wyoming LLC advantage, sorting out your name and registered agent, filing the actual articles and operating agreement, getting your free EIN, and we'll wrap up with ongoing compliance and banking.
Let's jump right into Step 1, the Wyoming LLC advantage, and why exactly entrepreneurs choose the equality state. Wyoming acts as this incredibly powerful shield for business owners, which is exactly why it's held the #1 spot on the Tax Foundation's State Business Tax Climate Index since 2011. You're getting this unique combination of asset protection and financial incentives. Think about it. 0 state corporate income tax, 0 personal income tax, and a super low $100 formation fee. Plus, your personal information stays private, and single-member LLCs get robust charging order protection against personal creditors. It's honestly a pretty amazing setup. Moving on to Step 2, name and registered agent. This is the absolute core setup of your LLC. Okay, so Wyoming strictly enforces its naming rules. Your business name absolutely must be entirely distinguishable from any other registered entity. And here is a massive pitfall that catches so many people out: you cannot just change the designator at the end. For example, if Teton Peak Consulting LLC already exists, there is no way you can register Teton Peak Consulting Inc. The core words themselves must actually be different. Adding punctuation or words like the or and won't cut it either. Oh, and you absolutely must include a proper designator like LLC or LTC at the end of your name. Always, always do a thorough search on the Secretary of State's website before you even think about filing. Next up, you're going to need a registered agent. Basically, this is an individual or legal entity mandated by the state to accept legal and government notices on behalf of your LLC during regular business hours at a physical address in Wyoming. Now, you can totally act as your own agent if you live there, but honestly, many founders opt for professional services like Northwest or Harbor Compliance. It ensures they never miss a critical legal notice, and crucially, it keeps their own personal home address completely off the public record. All right, Step 3, articles and operating agreement. Time to file that official paperwork. This brings us to the actual documents that breathe life into your company, your articles of organization. It's a pretty simple 3-step mechanism. First, confirm that distinguishable name we just talked about. Second, get a signed consent form from your chosen registered agent. And third, submit the articles to the state. Simple as that. And the state filing fee to submit those articles of organization? Incredibly low. Just $100 for the amount of legal protection you're establishing here. That is a massive bargain. Now, when it comes to actually applying, doing it online is highly, highly recommended. Sure, it costs a tiny bit more, like literally a couple of dollars in processing fees, but the turnaround time is infinitely faster. Online filings are usually processed in just 1 to 3 days, sometimes even immediately. Whereas if you mail it in, you're going to be waiting 10 to 15 business days. Save yourself the headache, go the digital route, and get your business up and running right away. And just like that, once approved by the Wyoming Secretary of State, your LLC officially exists. You'll instantly receive your stamped articles of organization and your certificate of organization. But hold on, your structural work isn't entirely finished just yet. We need to set the rules of the game. That brings us to the operating agreement. While Wyoming doesn't legally require you to file an operating agreement with the state, skipping it means you default to rigid state statutes, which probably won't align with your specific business goals. Think of this as a private, internal contract where you lay out exactly who owns what, how decisions are going to be made, and how profits get distributed. Even if you're a single-member LLC, having this document is absolutely crucial because it proves your business is a completely separate legal entity, and that is vital for maintaining your liability shield. Let's move to Step 4, getting your free EIN, which is essentially your business tax identity. Once your LLC is formed, you're going to need an employer identification number, or EIN, to do things like open bank accounts and hire employees. Think of it as a social security number, but for your business. And the absolute best part? Obtaining an EIN directly through the IRS online portal is completely free, $0. Just head over to the IRS website, fill out the quick application, and you get your number instantly.
Now pay attention here because we want you to keep your hard-earned money in your business. Please avoid paying third-party sites for something the IRS issues immediately at no cost. It is such a common pitfall to assume you have to pay some filing service $50 to $300 to handle this for you. Unless you're a non-US resident who actually needs help navigating the complex paper SS4 form process, just do this yourself online. It takes maybe 15 minutes.
All right, final step, step 5, ongoing compliance and banking. This is all about keeping your LLC healthy long-term.
So, now that you're operational, you'll be happy to know that maintaining your Wyoming LLC year over year is incredibly affordable. It literally just requires a simple annual report to stay in good standing. For most small businesses, you're looking at a minimum fee of just $60, which is based on the assets physically held inside the state. No pulling your hair out over complex state tax returns, just a very straightforward, cheap annual check-in.
Now let's talk banking, because the landscape here has shifted quite a bit lately, especially for non-US residents. Traditional banks, like Wells Fargo, they're a great option if you can actually visit a branch in person. But if you're looking in the digital space, neobanks like Mercury and Wise have gotten super strict about requiring actual physical US addresses. Thankfully, fintech platforms like Airwallex and Lily have proven to be really successful workarounds for a lot of international founders.
No matter which bank you end up choosing, you need to be prepared with specific documents to pass their mandatory Know Your Customer and Beneficial Ownership verifications. They're going to want to see your state-stamped LLC documents, a passport, proof of your physical address, and an official IRS letter proving your EIN. It also helps immensely to have a US phone number. You can easily snag one through services like phone.com for around $10 to $15 a month.
And this next point, it's absolutely critical, and it's a major hurdle you've got to plan for. Acquiring a true physical address or a virtual office lease is essential if you want to avoid getting rejected by payment processors. A lot of founders mistakenly think they can just use their registered agent's address for absolutely everything, but platforms like Shopify and major banks are totally cracking down on this. You need a verified physical location to operate smoothly.
And that brings us to our conclusion and next steps. Your business journey truly awaits.
Now, before you take the leap, it's incredibly important to note that this explainer is strictly for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal or financial advice. Please always consult with a professional advisor to address your own specific needs and circumstances when forming your LLC.
But look, you now have the step-by-step roadmap to launch a Wyoming LLC, secure your EIN, and navigate that tricky banking landscape. With unparalleled privacy, incredibly low costs, and robust asset protection ready to shield your efforts, you have absolutely everything you need to start. The blueprint is right here in your hands. So what business legacy are you going to build in Wyoming?